Einen wunderschönen guten Nachmittag. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. C'est un bon après-midi.
Bonjour.
Bienvenue à notre session cet après-midi. Pour faire un peu plus facile pour tout le monde, um es allen einfacher zu machen, wechseln wir in die 5. Landessprache, das wäre Englisch. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your interest on this Trinational Technology Circle, which we are running this afternoon. Sébastien Meunier and myself are very happy to welcome you to this session. We would like also to inform you that the whole session will be registered or recorded, and if somebody doesn't like this, so can please get out of the meeting if you don't like this. So very welcome to all of you. It's a real pleasure to have you here. I would like also to mention the 6 winners of the small and medium enterprises and startups of our this year's challenge, the I4 challenge. You can see the companies here. We will have the pleasure that we can hear from one of the winners, the company Ketak, about their solution on predictive maintenance activities. We did prepare following agenda. After the welcome, we will have a keynote to the topic digital transformation, data management, and business development from Professor Dr. Mark Peter from the Fachhochschule Nordwestschweiz from Olten. After that, as I mentioned right before, we do have the possibility to hear from Michael Kommer about potential of predictive maintenance and impact on business development and other areas. Then we'll have the chance to work in smaller groups and discuss in more details about what does it mean if we consider all the different elements we have heard before in the 2 presentations. We will have for each workshop 1 moderator, and the moderator will then give a short presentation after the workshop 1. So we'll hear what you were discussing and share this information as well. After that, we will have the 2nd keynote of this afternoon, which is how artificial intelligence transforms the modern workplace and how we can improve work processes or business processes. I think industrial transformation doesn't go alone. It has always an impact on the different workplaces. So this will be presented by Mike Tonazzi from Future Work Group. And after this session or this information, we will have the 2nd workshop of this afternoon regarding the artificial intelligence. What does it mean for each of you in your daily business and in your business? Afterwards, again, the short presentation, and then you wrap up and closing of the technology circle of today. I would like also to thank you all the partners which were supporting the organization and the setup of this workshop. The CCI Alsace, Eurometropol, Industrie, Handelskammer, Südliche Oberrhein. Then we do have a new Trinational project, which is running under the name Titan-E, which is Interreg project, which started maybe a month or end of at the beginning of October and is running for a couple of years now, as well as the Fachhochschule Nordwestschweiz Future Work Group and KÜFER Elektrotechnik Kettag AG. So thank you very much to all of the partners for this, for their time and to be able to be on this circle today. Let me now hand over to Sébastien Meunier, who will present a bit more details about Basel Area Business and Innovation. Sébastien, please.
Thank you, Albert, and hello, everybody. A warm welcome from my side, and I would like to present you briefly our organization, Basel Area Business and Innovation. We are a non-profit agency dedicated to helping startups, institutions, and companies find business success in the Basel area. We help develop a robust business climate and support innovative ventures. We attract and support companies moving into the area, connecting organizations and entrepreneurs with collaboration partners and help create a vibrant ecosystem that fosters innovations. How do we do that? We have been developing a powerful network with companies, academia, innovators, and entrepreneurs. We focus on two areas: the promotion of the region and the promotion of innovation. We are a team of 35 plus experts in Basel with representatives in China, Korea, India, USA, and Germany. And we have a board with senior industry representatives. So some facts and figures: we helped to settle more than 120 companies in the last 4 years. We have been supporting over 260 companies to create since 2016 and have been giving more than 2,500 consultations in the same period of time. We bring more than 6,000 people together in our different events and workshops each year. So I would like to show you one aspect of our strategy to develop strong networks, experts to foster innovation, and would like to outline this with 2 examples. The Interact project Upright 4.0 was a very good project to create and foster stronger networks between know-how, person, company, and academia from our 3 countries in the field of Industry 4.0. And the second example, it won't be, if you can change this next slide, Albert, it won't be possible to develop strong network involving experts like you without a good network between the different economic associations in this region. So we develop an economic association network with the CCI Alsace Eurometropole, with the Chamber of Commerce Südliche Oberrhein, with ADIRA in Alsace, with us, with the Cyber Forum, and the Regierung Präsidium Karlsruhe. So, and I would like to finish with 2 slides. I like them because it's important to realize how great our region is, and we are living in, and this is just a list of great companies. If we forgot any very important one, just let me know. And I show you with my last slide a list of the research organization we have in this great region. Last week in our event Without Border, we gave the chance to all the participants to meet 1 researchers of each countries, and it was amazing to hear about the developments they are working on. So thank you for your attention, and Albert, you can go on.
Thank you, Sebastian, for this information. I would like also, as mentioned before, give you some information about the new Interreg 5 project Titan E, which runs from this year, from September until 2023. Titan E stands for Transborder Innovation and Technology Advanced Networks of Enterprises. We have to be, or some people have to be very creative in defining or finding names. Again, it is a program that just started and will be accompanying us over the next 3 years. What's all about, we do have basically a very powerful economical potential in our region, in our Trinational region, and the technology change is influencing all the activities, be it in small companies, be it in startups, or even also in large companies. So digitalization is all over the place. Everybody is talking about big data, artificial intelligence, as we will do today as well. We do have IoT in every corners used. Big discussion topic as well is 5G. We have the pros and the cons, and politics who plays a strange role in my opinion, but anyhow, we do have climate change, we have energy topics, and it is important for us in our region, in the Trinational region of the Oberrhein, that we really exchange information, that we give our experience to each other and learn from each other. So basically, we expand our cooperation in scientific institutes, university, high schools, amongst the different companies, and we have also to work on cross-border activities. It doesn't make sense that a company in one country is doing and developing exactly the same thing as another company right across the border. It's also very helpful to exchange information amongst all of us. So putting that as a goal, we do have in this Titan project 4 work packages. We have communication about Upper Rhine as a center of innovation. There are different elements in this work package. We do have a second one, which is a development of partnership and business opportunities for technology-oriented companies. Amongst the sub-projects in there is the I4 challenge, which you have heard several times in previous circles as well. We have on the third work package, creation of cross-border office for innovation and technology monitoring. And the fourth one is basically better participation of companies in cross-border projects. And that's where we do have placed the technology circle, which will be a series of events and activities over the next 3 years. So the participating members or project partners in that organization, as you can see it on the slides, I don't want to mention all of them, but they are very powerful organizations supporting and partnering in this project. We from Basel Area Business and Innovation, we have taken the lead for the activities all around I4 Challenge and also about Technology Circle. We do that in close partnership with different organizations out of our region. Actually, we working very, very close together with Mark Peter and his organization from the Fachhochschule Olten, and build up this whole organization and activities. We do have several activities of this expert network, which has to do with events, challenges, technology circles. Then we do have marketing and communication activities. We have other elements like Fab Lab, science. We have market inquiries, projects, and so on. All around the community we are supporting and maintaining in our area, as well as the collaborative workspaces, which need to be developed also cross-border. Now, this brings me basically to the end of the introduction. And before we now start all our interesting presentations, I would like to ask you all a question. And Sandra, if you are ready for the first short inquiry where you can answer pretty fast and easy. So Sandra, please. So select one of the answers which fit the question here, and just go for it. So we have only one answer. Let's try it once more. That looks different. Okay, please go ahead. 21 of 36 have answered. I give you another 20 seconds, maybe. All right, so thank you very much for your answers here. And I would like now to proceed to the next topic on the agenda. I'm very pleased to welcome Mark Karl-Peter, Professor Mark Peter from the Fachhochschule Nordwestschweiz from Olten. Mark, the stage is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. A warm welcome to all of you. I hope that you can see my slide deck right in front of you, hoping that the sharing poll will eventually go away from my screen. Now it has disappeared. Wonderful. So a warm welcome. Data and data management is the topic for tonight. I'm very happy that we have two distinguished speakers, case studies and insights into technology and what is possible. And I'm very happy to start today's topic with a brief overview of what we will discuss. I am Mark. I'm heading the Competence Center Digital Transformation at FHNW, and I'm a professor of digital business. Now, as always, before we start the presentation, let us rethink and build an understanding on what it all is about when we speak about digital transformation. You might remember we already covered this 1.5 months ago. Digital transformation is about the renewal of your business so it survives and will remain competitive in the digital age. So really, digital transformation is modern business management to embed the systems and projects, the technology which you need to survive in the digital age. And as we have covered last time, there are the 7 action fields of digital transformation. So there are 7 topics which you should engage and activate in order to modernize your business. So whenever you're thinking about a strategy workshop in your firm, these are the 7 topics you should cover, from customer centricity, hopefully in an automated way, to new technology, cloud data, new strategies, dynamic pricing, business models, digital leadership, process engineering, and of course, digital marketing. The focus today is on data, and interestingly enough, when we ran this large research project 3 years ago with over 2,500 participants providing 4,200 projects to us, most participants said that the cloud and data are linked because we need a space to store data and bring it alive, and so cloud and data was often mentioned together in one go. So data is the topic, and as my keynote, I would like to introduce you to 7 themes which we have seen in our research. These are the 7 topics which we see are present in research and which I believe we should share here tonight before we move to the first case study. Let us start with data quality. What we see in our research is, and also when we ran workshops with businesses, that data quality is far away from what it has to be in order to actually use data strategically and operationally. You can't implement new business models, dynamic pricing. You can't automate your digital marketing if your data isn't at a high quality level. And this is mostly whenever we renew a business, the starting point to understand what data is there. It's a data audit which we run, and what parts of the data needs to be segmented, enriched, validated, updated, and so on. So data quality, a big problem. Just think about your own business. How many Excel spreadsheets do you have, and databases and systems which don't connect to one another. Our research has shown that when we speak about investments in the external part of the business, then CRM, and you can see the word cloud of the most often cited projects company invest when it comes to investments that are linked to the market, it is CRM solutions. Customer relationship management, of course, it is customer data, mostly linked with ERP, enterprise resource planning solutions, and with product information systems as well. So whenever we speak about data, at one point of time, customer data will appear. Of course, we try to make data intelligent, whatever it means to make data intelligent. And when we asked research participants where they would invest from an internal IT perspective, then we can see that anything on BI, business intelligence, and big data is the 3rd largest investment area when it comes to IT software. ERP makes sense, enterprise resource planning. Of course, there's a lot of data in that as well, but ERP are mostly used in process optimization, engineering. Collaboration and project management, we had before Corona, Trello and Jira, Confluence, and now of course Microsoft Teams, that is coming more and more. And then we have that 3rd bucket of BI and big data. And this is anything from a little bit more intelligent Excel spreadsheets to real BI solutions, which companies are now investing into. Social media. Social media is a massive challenge for businesses. Think about just how much information users are sharing, and how do you control as a business whether companies speak about your brand and your organization. The easiest way for all of you is something called Google Alerts. So if you go onto Google and you enter Google Alerts, you can set up your own alerts, and Google will warn you, inform you if a customer or a magazine, a journal, a blog post includes your product names or your company name. At the same time, data is being used and it is being abused. I would like to give you an example from Switzerland, because normally we speak about the US or Russia when we come about data misuse in social media. Some of you might remember that 2 years ago, we, the Swiss, could vote whether we want to continue paying TV usage fees to the government, or whether TV should be free without a fee to be paid. And so there was that vote in Switzerland, and researchers at our university, FHNW, want to understand how these bots work. And a bot is something quite easy. It reads all the social media messages on Twitter, for instance, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever it is. It will make sense of it, and based on the algorithm you define, it will provide an answer. And what we've seen in Switzerland in that social media space was that Switzerland is as dirty as what we always say about the Americans and the Russians, whatever our media tries to share negative views with. When we analyzed all tweets about that vote in Switzerland, we identified that 50% of all messages, there were about 300,000 tweets on Twitter alone about that vote. 50% of them were generated by 50 accounts, and these accounts were all bots. So think about what it means in terms of data analytics and utilizing that data to influence social media, to influence opinion, decision-making, and all of that in neutral and safe Switzerland. So data in social media, another dimension aspect which you have to consider. If we then move to the legal side of data, first of all, we obviously need to speak about GDPR or DSGVO in German. And the interesting thing is it now finally comes to Switzerland. So in September, 2 months ago, the Swiss Parliament said yes to the new Data Protection Act, which will come in force. It more or less follows the European GDPR framework, and it will be in place from about 2022. Now, of course, when we speak about data in digital businesses, Swiss organizations should follow GDPR, same as obviously most European or EU-based businesses do, but now it will finally come to Switzerland. Something else which we discuss often when it comes to data in the digital world is the famous Cloud Act. Now, the Cloud Act has been reinforced 2 years ago when the US government, the parliament said yes to this famous Cloud Act, which means that all US corporations have to follow any court order to reveal data. And so it doesn't matter whether a Microsoft or a Google has a data center in Frankfurt or in Zurich. Whenever the US government wants your data, they will have access to your data, even if the jurisdiction is in a European country. And you might have heard about the data shield, which isn't in force anymore. And that means for businesses that whenever we use the cloud, we have to encrypt our data to add some level of security. And that brings me also to that topic of data security. Why do we need to speak about data and IT security when it comes to data management? Because in 2017, it already was seen as the biggest risk in digital businesses and in digital transformation. And in our study in 2019, a year ago, we can see that the same themes are present. So the dependency on the internet, data security, and protection is an important risk seen by Swiss organizations, and across all European studies they are. And now, for the first time in 2019, something else came up. It is the fear of surveillance, and surveillance by employers, but also surveillance by the government. And again, this is something which we need to be conscious about. If we, for instance, use mail servers abroad, so how many of you have a Gmail account, a GMX account in Germany, for those who live in Switzerland and France? And are you aware of the fact that all of your data will go through that mail server in a foreign jurisdiction? And if you send your emails unencrypted, will be there hosted and accessible by those who have access to that mail server. And of course, we speak here about cyber attacks and data loss, yes, but we speak also about government surveillance. And in Switzerland, we have the famous Onyx system, which is in place for now 20 years, focusing on satellite communication. The Germans, of course, they have the biggest project of everyone here, together with the CIA. They have only opened that new site a year ago, and you can see, based on the sheer size of the P6 building, how massive that is. And the French, of course, yes, the French, they work in that pot as well. So let us be conscious of data security, data loss, but what we have seen in our research now lately, a third are also concerned about surveillance by employers and governments. And just a comment, a little promotional comment for those who speak German. Next February, the #1 handbook on IT security will be available in all good bookstores in Switzerland and Germany. And that leads me to the 7th field, based on our research, where we see that data are crucial, and it is the area of business development. And in business development, normally we all speak about consumer markets and large retailers. Today, the focus is on the industrial players and on B2B. An interesting research has shown how Swiss organizations are utilizing data in industrial manufacturing and industrial services. And you can see that data is being used to improve maintenance and support, but also to build new business models. And whenever we look at the market and we go to the big players like General Electrics, we see that big data processing and analytics is in the core of what they are building now. Same with Rockwell Automation, where it is about data and analytics in order to improve their value chain and value add to customers. Bosch, exactly the same, predictive maintenance and sensors which collect data. And ABB, of course, as well. ABB then has fancy names such as VR and AR and big data and the blockchain, of course, all keywords which we use around that data management topic. And that leads me to our very own case study, probably the best one we could share with you, which is Küffer, an example of how a very small business has taken advantage of sensors, data, and driving new business models. So you can see that data management has a massive bandwidth. It is around the quality of the data, what systems we use to maintain them, how we make them smart, add intelligence, and different use cases in social media, legal frameworks, data security, and that important part where it drives business development. Now, how will you start the initiative? Very similar to what we said in our last Technology Circle event. Utilize the workshop canvas for your digital transformation, identify needs, issues, and opportunities, and transform them into a roadmap. And this important canvas of digital transformation is available for you in order to use and apply the 7 action fields of digital transformation for your use case, and 1 action field is data. I hope that this sets the theme for tonight the various applications of data management, and I will hand over back to you for any questions you might have right now, or to move to the first case study for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark, for these very interesting information. Interesting to learn how bad the Swiss guys are with strange messages on the social medias. Now, let me share my screen again. Here we are. So the next topic on our agenda is data management and business development, potential predictive maintenance. As mentioned before, Michael Kummer from Küfer Elektrotechnik, Kettag AG will be the speaker on it. And to change a little bit the scene as well, and also to show that we are Trinational, this whole presentation will be in German from Michael, but no worries, Mark will give you updates in English so that everybody will be able to understand what's going on. So, Michael, the stage is yours.
Besten Dank. Herzlich willkommen auch von meiner Seite her. Ich möchte euch das Potenzial der Predictive Maintenance etwas näher bringen.
Sorry, yes,
jetzt geht's los.
Michael says hello, good evening. He's looking forward to sharing his presentation with you.
Das angestammte Geschäft der Firma Küfer ist Wartung und Reparatur von Antriebssystemen. Wir betreiben Instandhaltungswerkstätten in Zürich, Basel und Bern.
Michael's business is focused on the maintenance and repair of anything that has a machine in it, with 3 locations in Switzerland.
Bis anhin kannten unsere Kunden 2 Strategien in ihrer Instandhaltung. Reaktiv, also reagieren, wenn es schon zu spät ist, wie man das hier auf dem Foto erkennt, oder proaktiv mit Messungen begleitet, tendenziell viel zu früh die Antriebe austauschen.
So the main issue with their customers is that they either act too late when things are already happened, or too early and therefore paid money for something which they didn't use yet.
Mit der Digitalisierung wird jetzt eine neue Strategie möglich, Predictive Maintenance, also vorausschauende Wartung. Das heißt, heute wissen, was morgen geschieht, wird jetzt plötzlich möglich.
So predictive maintenance is about knowing today what will happen, and that is possible only now with that predictive maintenance concept.
Und wie das genau ausschaut an einem konkreten Projekt, möchte ich Ihnen jetzt zeigen. Wir haben bei der Firma Wander, das ist der Hersteller des weltbekannten Produkts Ovomaltine, ein Projekt realisieren können.
So who doesn't know Ovomaltine? And here it comes, a case study where Michael had the opportunity to install his predictive maintenance solution.
Das Nervenzentrum der Firma Wander bildet das Hochregallager. Hier sind zum einen fertige Endprodukte, aber auch Grundprodukte, die die Produktion benötigt, eingelagert.
So basically the focus is on their storage facility where all of the products are being stored and ready to be dispatched.
Die wichtige Komponente, die immer zum Ausfall geführt hat, war eine Schraube. Wir sehen sie hier auf dem Bild, die in unregelmäßigen Abständen gebrochen ist.
So one of the main challenges in that storage facility are screws which are crucial for the infrastructure, and there are many breakages of the screws, so basically then doesn't allow operations, they will hold.
Wir haben uns überlegt, oder hier sehen wir, wie die Schraube eingesetzt ist. Also hier ist die Schraube montiert an diesem Regalbediengerät und sie ist für die Führungsrolle, die für den Gangwechsel nötig ist, angebracht.
You can see on the picture on the bottom right where the screw is located and how crucial it is on the operation of that device.
Wir haben uns überlegt, wie wir diese Schwachstelle überwachen können und haben nun einen Testaufbau in unserer Werkstatt realisiert mit einem sogenannten Dehntrafo. Das ist ein Sensor, der eigentlich auf Dehnung reagiert.
So Michael tried to accept the challenge, and in their workshop they worked on an alternative solution which identifies Dehnungen. I don't have the English words, but it basically identifies if the density is changing within that component.
Der hat gute Resultate geliefert, deshalb haben wir mit dem Kunden entschieden, diesen Dehntrafo vor Ort an der Anlage in einem Pilotversuch einzubauen und die Daten daraus zu gewinnen.
So the customer was happy with the initial concept and has agreed to a pilot.
Ebenfalls war eine Aufgabe, dass der Kunde wissen wollte, wann, wo, welche Dehnung stattfindet, und wir haben uns an den Barcodes bedient, die in der Anlage schon installiert waren, und haben zusätzlich einen Barcode-Laser für die Positionsbestimmung installiert.
So the solution includes the determination of the exact location where problems arise, and Michael utilized the existing barcodes in that storage facility.
Der Datenstrom konnten wir über das verfügbare WLAN der Firma Wander in unsere Cloud extrahieren, wo er dann analysiert wird.
So the existing wireless LAN infrastructure of the customer has been utilized to send data to the server.
Wichtig war für den Kunden auch, dass wir eine eigenständige Infrastruktur aufbauen, die die Muttersteuerung des Lagers nicht beeinträchtigen kann.
And the customer was, an important part for the customer was that it would not interfere with any other operational system, so it had to be a separate solution.
Und was das genau heißt oder welche Anforderungen wir an das Internet of Things und die Cloud stellen, möchte ich Ihnen an diesem Beispiel zeigen. Also der Dehntrafo, den wir da eingebaut haben, der hat in 2 Monaten 45 Millionen Messpunkte geliefert.
So just to give you an example of the sheer data volume there is, the sensor delivered over a 2 months period 45 million data points.
Wenn man diese Grafik anschaut, kann man dem Trend schon folgen und sieht, wie eigentlich die Schraube immer wie mehr gedehnt wird, bis es dann zum Bruch kommt.
So as you can see on this chart, you can see how the pressure on the screw is increasing over time, and at which point it then comes to a breakage.
Hier noch etwas anders dargestellt. Auch hier sieht man den Verlauf, den Trend, wie er ansteigt und dann eigentlich irgendwann der Schraubenbruch die Anlage zum Erliegen bringt.
So data analysis on this dashboard already shows you where that break might happen. So purely by reading the visualization, it highlights when a problem might occur.
Im Gegenzug konnten wir auch zeigen, dass die Profile unterschiedlich sind. Da haben sie prophylaktisch eine Schraube ausgewechselt. Und da sieht man auch, dass dieses Profil eindeutig sich von einem Schraubenbruch unterscheidet.
And on this example on the left-hand side, you can see where the customer has changed the screw before a breakage has happened, and it just gives you an idea of how, just by reading the dashboard, the data, you can see how this is different to a screw actually breaking if you replace one.
Und jetzt bewegen wir uns erst im Condition Monitoring, also wir zeigen eigentlich einen Datenverlauf an, und mit diesen Graphen konnten wir aber den Kunden überzeugen, dass wir ihm eine Predictive Maintenance Lösung bauen dürfen.
So it was enough for the customers to see these 2 slides to be convinced that they need to work with Michael's solution.
Genau, wir haben ihm auch ein Dashboard gebaut und hier kann er jetzt eigentlich täglich die Dehnung der Schrauben verfolgen und so werden auch laufend eigentlich wird der Datenstrom gesammelt, damit ein Algorithmus angelehrt werden kann.
Michael then developed this dashboard, which allows the customer to see quite easily and in one single space what the conditions are of the infrastructure.
Die Erkenntnisse aus diesem Projekt und auch anderen ist, dass eigentlich die vorhandene Infrastruktur und deren Nutzungsbedingungen seitens des Kunden auch die Technologie bestimmen. Also bei Wander hatten wir ein WLAN zur Verfügung, deshalb haben wir das genützt. Anderen Orten ist es halt einfach rein von der IT-Sicherheit nicht möglich, das vorhandene WLAN zu benutzen. Also gehen wir halt beispielsweise über das 4G-Netz in die Cloud.
So the learnings from the project are, number one, you need to consider the existing technology landscape and infrastructure. Not in all cases you are allowed to access the wireless LAN of the customer side, could be restrictions because of IT security reasons.
Die zweite Erkenntnis, je früher man mit der Datengewinnung beginnt, desto eher kann sich auch ein Projekterfolg einstellen. Oder anders gesagt, je länger ich warte, um Daten zu gewinnen, desto mehr verzögert sich auch eine Predictive Maintenance Lösung.
So capturing data very early on in the project is a key success factor. So start collecting data as soon as possible.
Wir haben aus diesen Projekten auch ein Umsetzungskonzept abgeleitet und siehe das, hat auch 7 Schritte wie bei der Folie vorhin von dir, Marc, und das hat sich bewährt, ist auf unserer Webseite aufgeschaltet.
So Michael now has a promotional message to all of you. If you would like to have the detailed 7 steps, go onto his website and you'll find them there.
Thank you, Mark. Wir haben auch erkannt, dass das Dashboard in aller Regel vom Kunden gewünscht in unserem Service Center läuft. Also der Kunde hat gar nicht die Ressource, das Dashboard zu verfolgen und die nötigen Interventionen einzuleiten. Wir helfen ihm, wenn wir diesen Service für ihn übernehmen.
And the project has shown that the customer is very happy if the dashboard is being monitored by Michael's organization and not necessarily by the customer, so basically outsourcing the monitoring task to an external company.
Genau, und dann sind wir eben genau beim Thema agile Businessmodelle. Das ist jetzt noch ein relativ einfacher Ansatz, aber wir erkennen, dass gerade bei Predictive Maintenance Projekten halt auch erwünscht ist, dass eine Erfolgsquote oder eine Maschinenverfügbarkeit oder eine Standzeit einer Maschine ein Faktor bildet, über die der Dienstleister monetär entschädigt wird.
So it is the proof for the evidence that moving into new business models for an old established company like Michael's is not only essential, but there is a need in the market for these new services that shall be delivered.
Sie können sich sicher auch vorstellen, dass eine gut 70-jährige Unternehmung, bestehend aus Mechanikern und Elektrikern, sich nicht immer ganz einfach tut, mit dem Gedanken, neue Businessmodelle zu entwickeln.
And the nice thing with this case study is it's a 70-year-old company full of mechanics. So they are blue-collar workers. They all have dirty hands. And just imagine the transformation into IT and new business models for that type of company.
Genau, und dann bin ich auch schon am Ende meiner Präsentation. Ich möchte mich bei Ihnen bedanken und freue mich natürlich auf Ihre Herausforderungen.
So thank you guys for participating, and Michael is looking forward to your questions and to discuss what he has done with all of you.
Thank you, Michael, for this very interesting presentation, and Mark for the live translation and guiding us through. This brings us to the first interactive part of our session this afternoon, which is the workshop 1. We will have 6 breakout rooms In each of the 6 rooms, there is a responsible person who will manage the whole session. And Sandra, if you could now bring in the participants into the different work groups. You do not need to do anything. It all happens automatically and on a random basis. So I wish you lots of pleasure in discussing this in more details. And you in 15 minutes from now. Thank you.
Mike,
Albert, you're on mute. Are you here?
Alors, je ne sais pas. Oh, il y a des choses un peu bizarres.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe, Daniel?
Je ne sais pas, j'ai été éjectée de la salle.
Oui, une fois que les 15 minutes sont passées, tout le monde revient dans la salle principale.
Ah, d'accord, ok, merci.
Et Albert doit prendre le relais s'il veut bien.
Sind wir jetzt wieder in einem Gruppenraum?
No, Michael, we are back in the main room with so far 28 participants here. So we are in the main room and we wait for Albert to continue conversations.
But we lost Albert.
Yeah.
bringing him back in just a few seconds.
It looks like Albert is no longer a participant.
And Albert should be back.
He's not on the participant list.
Yes, he is.
Albert, are you here? We have a technical problem. We lost Albert. I should take the next part. I have to open the presentation because I do not have this one. And we'll maybe, who was the moderator of the first group? or I will just show Cyril, you are online and you are with a camera. Could you give us feedback from your groups, please?
Yes, we had a very interesting discussion with Julia, Verena, and Nikolai. Basically, what we pointed out was there are so much and so many data all around us that one of the first things that needs to be done is to identify an issue which we want to tackle. And that was the example of Verena explaining that the issue she wanted to tackle was pollution. And then by utilizing properly data and utilizing digital twins, avatars, trying to produce basically a fashion product first time right and first time fitting the client at the end of the day. So that was the first learning that we had. Then the second learning was an example given by Julia explaining that with her company, her company is active in the software business and they are dealing with data for the last 20 years, which means that data management, data handling is not really new. What is really new nowadays is the whole wealth of new tools that are coming and the capability that we have to handle big data. And that opens new horizons. And Michael gave us some insights on predictive maintenance, and Julia gave us another example, which was on predicting the quality of air by looking at the history of this. So what we see is that at the end of the day, only our imagination is the limit there. The sky really remains the limit there.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Cyril, for your feedback. Maybe I will ask Michael with Mark for the translation to give us a feedback from your group, please. Michael, you are...
Ja,
yes.
kann ich gerne machen. Soll ich meinen Bildschirm teilen, die Präsentation, wo ich das aufgeschrieben habe?
If you want, wenn du willst, ja gerne.
Gut, hier. Wir haben da aufgeschrieben, wie können wir Kunden mit Service- und Wartungsverträgen einen Mehrwert bieten, haben wir Lifecycle Management als Möglichkeit, ist ein klarer Vorteil für die Kundenbindung, da wir wiederkehrend auf sie zukommen. Die Verfügbarkeit und die Planbarkeit sind sicher wichtige Argumente, die für Service- und Wartungsverträge sprechen.
Danke. Vielleicht, Mark, could you please?
Yeah, very happy to do so. So basically two main reasons which support the idea of predictive maintenance and service subscriptions, such as better life cycle management and importantly to keep customers close to you. So basically as a retention strategy.
Thank you.
Und bei den Geschäftsmodellen haben wir verschiedene Bekannte oder ja, die uns bekannt sind, aufgeschrieben. Wenn es um länderübergreifenden Service gibt, die Zusammenarbeit mit lokalen Partnern. Willst du vorneweg übersetzen, Mark?
Yeah, so how do you build a business model and what are the components of it? And the first one is to work with local partners.
Und Beratung anstelle Service, also dass es halt vor allem um die Beratung geht und der Service dann durch andere Unternehmen ausgeführt wird.
So you're transforming from a business offering services, maintenance services, more into a consulting model, and then collaborate with partners which provide the service component.
Oder halt auch das klassische Modell mit dem eigenen Instandhaltungsteam, das der Produktionsbetrieb noch führt.
And then one of the models, of course, is that you still maintain a maintenance department within your organization.
Oder dass man die Maschine nur noch mietet und gar nicht mehr selber besitzt und wartet.
And then, of course, rent instead of purchasing.
Das ist eine Zusammenfassung von unserem Workshop.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Dankeschön, Michael. I would like maybe give some feedback from my group. We were to 6 people, and for the first question, what's this Mehrwert we can, added value we can offer? We speak a lot of different things. We can bring a new business model for machine manufacturer. We can offer cost reduction and reduce the energy consumption and different process optimization. We spoke about productivity and reduce the collateralized damage we can have. We can have a quicker start and repair, reduce the reparation time because we don't have to go on site, and we have some maybe critical points. So we will increasing the dependency to the company or service provider, but we can build on the long term and have some good advice with all the feedback we get and the experience we get from different points. And about the investigation, we don't have time to speak a lot, but we speak about 200,000 francs per year for the platform, and we have to implement the different solution. Some of the group want to add something. It's okay, so thank you. I don't know if Albert is back and would like to continue to take it over.
Try. Can you hear me, Sebastian?
Yeah, great.
Okay, just give me a second. You can continue.
But I have, we just presented, we make the three group for feedback, so we have to continue the next part.
All right, give me a second. I'm sorry that my system is screwing me totally, but that's always kind of Can you see the screen?
No. Yes.
What about now? Is it okay?
It's okay. Yeah.
So we just had these short presentations. Now we'll go further to the next presentation, which is how artificial intelligence transforms the modern workplace and improves work processes. So Mike, the stage is yours. I hope you can all see now the slides as well.
Yes, thank you very much. So I need to check. Now it's working. Yes. So yes, welcome also from my side. For the short presentation about how artificial intelligence will improve our work process. I'm very impressed about what Michael Kummer told us, because this is, I say this is real work. I work from 95%, I work in virtual, in the virtual world. I work with software, I work with virtual teams, I work with internet, with data. So I'm very impressed to see all that. So I will concentrate more maybe on a virtual, on our work processes, not so on the hardware. I'm a partner and a consultant with the Future Work Group, and we work together with Mark on the modern workplace. And yes, I wrote it in bold. Yes, I I work with Microsoft technologies. So I have many examples from Microsoft technologies. Please excuse, this is my expertise, but of course I'm very open to other systems. So if you have feedback afterwards by mail or so I'm very open. So that does not mean this is the only part, but this is my experience. My goal of this short presentation is some practical. It's somehow I want to give you, yeah, it's like magic, you know, the slides go like magic. So my goal is to give you an overview what is possible with artificial intelligence nowadays and drive some awareness, because when it comes to artificial intelligence, many people think of robotics and industries, but a lot is already here in software in the cloud. I will give you some examples to improve the meetings, what is already there in the meeting organization. Where do we find artificial intelligence in sales? Where do we find artificial intelligence in customer service? This is very close what we've just discussed. But of course, AI is also in the field of digital marketing and content creation. And AI is in the field of HR and recruitment. And of course, we can use AI to support us to improve how we work. So this is the field of workplace, workspace analytics. So let me start. What AI do we have available to improve our meetings? So when it comes, let's say, to scheduling a meeting, then we know all, of course, Alexa, Google Assistant, Bixby from Samsung, Cortana, Siri, you name it. But when you look at what's possible today, maybe these are more basic use cases. We give a command to Alexa, play the sound, organize something, do this, do that, then it's quite basic, although it's quite impressive what they can do now already. More advanced assistants are, for example, is a project called Google Duplex. And when we send you the presentations, this is a working link on Google Duplex, so it will lead you it will lead you to a video where Google Duplex calls a hairdresser salon to make an appointment. And it's very impressive. So the machine talks to a real person and it makes an appointment. Another example is Soulbot by Mindful Machines. This is a German startup. And this company puts emotions in interactions. So it does not say that the people should not realize that there is a bot that you are talking to, but the bot will recognize what is your emotion and how are you today. So and with this Soulbot or with Google Duplex, there is even more assistance advanced. Another field where we can improve our meetings is transcription and meeting assistance. So there are two examples like Sonix AI and Sonia AI. With Sonix AI, you know, it's more like a processing. You upload a voice file of a meeting that you recorded, and it will do the transcription for you. And for example, when you do an after meeting work, then you can do the subtitles. Sonia AI, it's a digital agent which is part of the meeting. So Sonia would call into our Zoom meeting and it would listen to us and do the transcription. And of course, it would recognize which speaker said what. So like this, you have some transcription of a meeting. Then another part in our meetings is real-time translation. There in Zoom, unfortunately in Zoom, it's not already there. So I bet they're working on it. With MS Teams and Slacks, there are three kind of translations. So one is the inline translation when you do a chat message. Maybe you all know it. I don't know if you use it. So when I do a chat message, I can inline translate it to my language. This is very useful for international teams. Or there is PowerPoint live presentations. When you do a PowerPoint live presentation, the system is able to recognize your language and do the subtitles in another language and translate it. Or when it comes to third-party apps, it's, for example, Wordly. In the field of sales, I have a good example here. It's Salesforce Einstein. It's a nice guide which will lead you through artificial intelligence in sales and how artificial intelligence can lead to improve your metrics. So it's a top-down approach which will lead you to a process how to define your metrics to improve your processes. Microsoft Cloud Ascent is also a very interesting machine learning and powered by machine learning and big data is a field. It's an engine where the Microsoft will collect many data, millions of data, and they will calculate the propensity, the chance who will buy my product. Or they will predict who is interested in my product and what exactly do we recommend our clients. So what you see here is really there's a data collection. So web crawlers scan and collect billions of customer signals by pinging the company domains, monitoring blog posts, press releases, social streams, and technical forums. And they collect also the signals from external and internal database. Then they feed it into a machine learning module so that then they get an output and to predict which customer has a high chance to buy the product. Microsoft will provide this information to their partners so that they can do better sales. So what they have a customer account fit. They compare the customer to a real customer, which is a very good customer. So they compare it to the role model. They count the intent, the social media signals. How many times have they been on my website? Do they buy now? How big is the chance? And then the system will cluster the clients in 4 categories and will say there's a category act now because they're sales ready customers based on the account fit and the intent. And there is a evaluation category where they say, okay, these customers are marketing ready, the nurture and the educate. When it comes to improving customer service, it's the artificial intelligence. Maybe it's not yet so far that we would like it to have, but especially it's augmenting human customer service. So it's helping, it's supporting the agents, the human agents. So maybe one field is that a bot agent with messaging is freeing up some time. The bots are 24/7 available, which will also help the customer service, or they help the agents for faster decisions. And of course, AI is used in voice analytics, for example, that you can realize what is the mood of the client, and then systems will help the agent to deal with the situation when you have an angry client or so, that the system will help. What we also have is intelligent virtual agents. This is a framework from Microsoft where you can, they call it with no code, build your own bots. In the field of digital marketing, AI is used to, as we saw before in the data, how Mark told us, deduplicate redundant data, build better quality of data, and for example, automatic capture of important data from an email or from a text message. But what is also interesting, it's the company Winstate.io. They have analyzed several hundred successful social media posts and that identified the elements that make a post successful. So they built a framework which is based on scientific findings to write better social media posts. So what they do is automate social media marketing. What I've put you here is also the top 6 AI-enabled copywriting tools. So if you are interested for this domain. We have also AI in the HR recruitment. Also here, it's not at the time, it's not ready that really a bot is hiring a person, but it will augment the work of an HR agent. Let's say machine learning helps to find relevant candidates. AI chatbot can screen candidates, can schedule interviews and answer questions over text messages, etc. AI can guide a person, a visitor from your website to the right job. Maybe if, or AI helps recruiting teams to source, screen and schedule candidates. I've also put you a link here. This is a platform which selects the best AI recruiting tools. So if you're interested, you can get an overview there. Then when it comes to workplace analytics, this is also Microsoft example. When you work with Microsoft 365, a system will, the My Analytics will provide you with information, how you work. And you see, for example, last month, I added 21 new person to my network. It analyzes how much time do I invest in collaboration? Do I have enough time for concentrated work? And so it will give me tips how to improve my personal work day. You know, for example, when I had 1 month and I did some meetings too short term, and the system comes and said, hey, come on, you should plan more ahead. When it comes to a company level, then the big players, Google and Microsoft, they have this workplace analytics because everyone is working in the same cloud. The system can collect data of the whole company and they analyze then collaboration patterns. And so you're able to analyze which teams are performing well and how do they collaborate. And then you can transform these insights to other teams as well. Hopefully that they will work also very successful. In the end, I have some other links when you are interested. So this was a very short, but I hope a good overview of how AI can transform our workplace and our work. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mike, for this very interesting presentation. It's kind of frightening if you see what all can be done with these kind of tools and these kind of available analytics tools. So I believe it in our workshop too. But before we do that, Sana, we do have another quick questions to put on your on the screen. So Sana, if you could do that. So here's the question. You choose what you want to answer.
Yeah, we see the remote office, home office, it's really obviously a hot topic.
Exactly. Okay. It seems to be a hot topic. Thank you very much. And let's go now to the workshop 2. I don't think it makes sense, Sandra, to have 6 groups again. So if you could split us in 3 groups, if that is possible, would be good. And we see us after the workshop again. Sandra, does it work?
I'm on it, but I have to change everything now. Just a second.
As you said, Albert, we had this philosophical discussion, and we see that AI is about risk management of companies. You know, it's very important. We see many chances, opportunities. For example, avoid error in repeating activities, or AI can help catching up with repetitive tasks or so. But we see, of course, we see the risks, and we need to monitor the risks. We see also we need trust, to build up trust, and it's also about responsibility, how far we want to go. So it's really risk management, and there is one way how we can manage it. It's proactive communication to employees and customers, and talk about this thing, because we think the AI will come if we want it or not, and we really have to steer it and to do proactive communication. That was our group. So anything else, Cyril? So it's good.
Thank you, Mike. May I ask the representative of another group to share their information and their findings?
I might just
Hello? Sebastian, were you in another group?
sorry, I might just take over if you want to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fine. Well, we had a discussion, very interesting discussion too, and I would like to summarize the discussion in a SWOT analysis, because you can say the strength of the data, wherever they come, they allow you to work easily and to actually work with huge data volumes and get information. So this is certainly the biggest strength. One problem can be that if you set it in a false way, you might get the wrong answer. So that might be the weakness of the whole thing. But definitely you will get faster with your data and working with your data. The opportunity, or a big strength as well, which is also the opportunity definitely, is that you get along faster. You have a system, you can improve your system, and you will improve your system steadily because you get new information and new data to work on that system. However, the system, it's perceived as a closed system, which means that you don't get new challenges and new data in order to get new innovations and ask what you should improve. So basically we get to the problem or to the threat that by concentrating on improving your data for your operational daily business, you might actually forget your strategic business, which is based on innovation, because you just focus on your data management, which is in a closed system. So that was a little bit the summary of our discussion.
Thank you, Valerie.
Pleasure.
Now, representative from Group 3.
I think I will try to make a short summary about what we discussed, because it was for me a little bit difficult because we have a lot of experts in the group and not with standard tools or data. So everything is particular, and we discuss about the data quality, very important data quality, not wrong data to have in the machine or in the system, because we really have some wrong results. And also a problem to have not enough data, or not enough data available. And it's also the problem if you have the impression you have good data, so that you can use it to train your system, but with strong or quite not result you want to have. So never believe your data and challenge a result. So it was in short time what we discussed.
Okay, thank you very much, Sebastian, for this quick summary. I know that's a very, very sensitive topic, artificial intelligence and big data, and what all can be done of good things, and what all can be done of not so good things, to put it a bit positive. I would like to thank you, the presenters of our today's meeting, and they have given us a lot of very valuable information, which will help us to go further in our activities. And as a summary, I would like to thank you all for your participation on behalf of our partners, presenters, and Basel area business and innovation. Sebastian and myself will provide you with a summary. The presentations will also be available for you to be used, especially the one might be interesting from Mike with these 10,000 links, where you can get all about artificial intelligence and all these goodies and tools from our big companies around us and the smaller ones as well. And keep in mind, there are a lot of startup companies which are starting their activities in that domain and that area. So thank you very much for all your participation, your time to be here. Let me inform you that the next technology workshop, which is on the topic of strategic realization of digital transformation, is planned for the 15th of February 21. It will be a virtual event again. And there will be at least one other technology circle per quarter next year with different topics around what we are discussing here, and it should build on what we have heard before and give you the chance to learn from each other within our Trinational region. Thank you very much for all of you. I wish you really a good end of the 2020, which was a very difficult one for many of us, and I wish you a good time and good time at Christmas and all the way through. We don't know how it will be. It will be different from other years, definitely, but keep your heads up and stay healthy. Pay attention to your health and your environment. Thank you very much for all of you. I wish you a great evening and see you and talk to you soon again. And with that, I close today's session. Thanks a lot. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Merci.
Thank
Ciao
you.
zusammen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.